Welcome back to Techstrong Unplugged. My name is Cassandra Chin, and today we have Mario Fusco.
Hi.
And today we want to talk about why open source is important. So, open source is important because it's a good way to show the work you've done. Like, when you write code for proprietary software, say, you're in a company and you're writing code for them, then there's no way to ever show anyone the work you've done. Can you talk about, how you can get started into open source?
Okay. Yes. Again, before the how, probably it's better to underline the why you may want to do so. It's it's not a waste of time, really. It's really the way I found the job that I have now. I mean, I started contributing to open source. I also started my small open source project at time. It was about introducing Lambda expression inside the Java language before you had the proper Lambda with Java 8. And I did this open source project that put me in touch with a lot of people. You create a community, and then people knows about your work, understand what you do, and hopefully appreciate your work. And it gives you a lot of visibility and a lot of more opportunity again to stay in touch with the rest of community, to have a chance to change job for and look for a better one. I mean, it's really about the community and the opportunity that it gives you. And this is the why. So really, I suggest everybody, especially young developers, to start doing it. And the other part that is both the why and the how is that you collaborate with a very smart developer, with developers that are more experienced than you when you work in the open source project. So the why is that you also learn a lot. Okay, so it's very uh, useful for your career and to extend your knowledge. And how is that you find your main interest that could be literally in any area, and for sure in that area there is an open source project. For instance, I was interested in the rule engine area, so I started contributing to Druze, which is the Red Hat open source rule engine. And then at some point, I did some contribution to the rule engine, and I've been hired by Red Hat to start continuing working on it. And now I'm the project lead of Druze. So the how is that you really just find something that interests you, you try to understand how it works, and then you start collaborating. You send a pull request to the project, probably with some very simple fix at the beginning. You found a small bug and you send a fix, or you also, I don't know, improve the documentation, or you simply do a bug report.
Making your first pull request can be tricky. How do you do it?
Uh, Again, there is not so much ceremony. You get in touch with people. GitHub is a very, very useful tool. You send a pull request with a change. Be prepared to comment a lot your pull request, whatever it is, because software development is really a community effort and an interactive process. So this is probably, you may not expect at the beginning that you have to discuss a lot and further improve your pull request. But anyway, you send a pull request to a project, and then it gets eventually approved, and that's the first step to have your collaboration with that project and start contributing to it.
And how do you engage with the project you're working on?
Again, I was simply interested in the rules engine area at time. I did some. I did a talk at a conference with a toy project with a toy role engine that I developed in Scala, And this rule engine has been noticed by Mark Proctor, who was the lead of the rules at time, and he get in touch with me. We started exchanging email, discussing. He involved me in this open source project. I started collaborating, and at time I was also looking for a new job, and I found my new job, which is still my current job after 13 years, just because of this open source project. So it's something to also to reinforce the fact that doing open source is very very useful for your development and for your career.
I think it's really important that being a part of open source can help you find new job opportunities.
Yeah. Again, yes, it's very important to have, again, the most relevant part of the software development is the community. You get in touch with people. You come to a conference like this to get in touch with people to discuss them. And the same thing is when you contribute uh, to an open source project. You start belonging, to have a sense of belonging with that community, with the Java community in my case, and they start knowing you, they start involving you in more projects, and this is also a great boost for your career.
And how much time commitment do you have to give to be able to say you're part of the open source project?
It's quite an effort. I mean, it's a big effort, both time wise and you have to learn a lot. So when you start to collaborate to a project, typically you don't know much about that project, so you have to learn how it works, and this also takes time. And also discussing about some pull request, it takes a lot of time. Is it a time consuming thing, but it's very rewarding at the end, yes.
So it definitely pays back and it's
Yeah,
worth it.
it pays back, yes, of course. I believe so.
And do you have any like personal experiences with working with open source which are positive?
Yeah, well, I believe my experience is very positive, but Red Hat, the company for which I work, is all about open source. We do all project in an open source way, and I have a very similar experience with many of my colleagues working in different projects like, I don't know, Wildfly or Camel or many other projects. I mean, they all started in the same way. We have a very similar story. We started collaborating to this open source project mainly for passion. We were passionate about this work, about the software development, about a specific project, and then this passion also rewarded us in terms of having a better job, having a better salary, and stuff like this. But it all starts with passion.
I think that's really nice. How long have you been working on open source?
Well, let's say 20 something years, 25 almost, yes. Quite a lot now, yes.
Has it been most of your technology career?
Yes, it's well, my whole career was about open source. Well, now I'm in Red Hat since 13 years now, and we only do open source. But even before, I collaborated to other open source projects, and actually, again, collaborating to this open source project gave me the opportunity to enter in Red Hat.
When you pick an open source project to work on, do you feel like you have to stick to just one project? Or do you try to contribute to a few?
No, you just pick the project. It's really, again, since it's a time consuming thing and it requires some effort, it's important that you cares about the project, that you are passionate about it. So you really choose something that you like. You really choose something that love and that gives you energy. Otherwise, you don't do this. So choose the project in the area where you are really interested and hopefully where where you want to develop your career. I mean, you say I want to focus my career in my case on rule engine, then I will collaborate to a rule engine because it makes sense to gain visibility and expertise in that area.
Are mentorships involved with open source projects?
Of course, yes. So, well, internally in Red Hat, we have some mentorship program. We try to collaborate with the university. I had in the recent past a couple of PhD working with me on the project, contributing to the project. So I'm trying to mentor them and help them to learn new stuff, understand how we work, understand the most common mistakes to avoid, how to communicate, which is very important. Is something that you cannot give for granted. Communication is king in software development, and it's very important to know how to, you do a change, but you also have to justify why you did it, how you did it, to explain it. So again, presenting, not doing the work, but presenting your work, it's the other important thing. And this why I try to mentor, what I try to teach, how to communicate effectively the kind of work. And also, of course, there is the more technical part. I try to do mentor on my area of expertise, technical wise.
I mean, those communication skills are important because you have to let people know why it's important.
Well, it's important because we are used to think about software development, something that you do alone in isolation, working in front of your computer, and that's the, let's say, romantic view of how a software developer work. But it's totally wrong. In reality, again, the most important part of the open source is the community that is created around it, and you be part of this community. You and to be part of a community, you, of course, you have to communicate a lot. You have to share your new ideas, how to improve a software, how to fix a bug. You have to convince people. It's even better if you participate to conference. So in that case, you have a chance to present your work, to show your skill, to get even more visibility. But it's all about, again, communicating about the work that you do. And it's not trivial. It's not a trivial skill. It's something you learn with experience, how to communicate effectively, how to convince people. Because again, software development is never something that you do in isolation. You have tens, sometimes hundreds of people working with you on the same project, and you have to collaborate with them. And it's not only you telling people what you do, but it's also the other way around. Of course, it's also learning to listen people, to understand what they are suggesting, and to evaluate their suggestion and try to effectively collaborate with them.
Do you want to give any final remarks to get people excited about open source?
Well, my I am hoping that I have convinced some more people to collaborate with the open source project, to be part of this world. I'm hoping to have explained why you should. I mean, it's a very rewarding thing, not only under a personal point of view, but really also under a professional, economical even point of view. You will gain a better job if you do open source. and uh, and that's all. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mario.
Thanks. Thank you.